What is addiction? Addiction is a brain disorder which happens because of use of harmful substances, and the person cannot stop using it once he starts using them. And then despite knowing that many a times, and despite not knowing it many a times, it finds it very hard to stop using it, till the point that it affects his daily functioning.
How does addiction start? Addiction begins with use of a substance in an experimental fashion, where you just want to explore what the substance is, and then using the same substance on daily basis, and using it for relieving stress or for certain negative emotions, and then using the same substance for a longer period of time, which itself becomes problematic, and also getting to know that it is harmful to one's own body. Even then, going back to using the substance leads to a kind of dependence towards that particular substance, hence leading to addiction.
How does addiction affect the brain? Addiction affects the brain in a lot of different ways. It basically alters the functioning of the brain in such a way that the person gradually loses the capacity to make judgments, and it leads to significant dysfunction in his everyday functioning because of that. Can addiction be genetic? Yes, addiction can be genetic. They've done a lot of research into that aspect, and they have found that 40 to 60% of the people who develop addiction can have a family history of it, but it's not seen in everyone. Why is addiction considered chronic? Addiction is considered chronic because it has got long-term effects on the brain. It alters the functioning of the brain in such a way that the person becomes dependent on the use of it for his daily functioning, and it's very difficult for that person to function without the use of those substances, whereby he loses his capacity to function without them. So that's the reason it is considered a long term. Why is addiction maladaptive? Addiction is maladaptive because it alters our capacity to face stressful situations in life. We become dependent on the use of these substances to face those situations, and in the absence of them, we find it very difficult to adjust ourselves to face such kind of situations.
Alright. Can addiction cause anxiety or depression? Yes, unfortunately, anxiety or depression are co-occurring disorders with addiction. This is because the stigma and criticism surrounding the addiction get internalized, resulting in low self-esteem and also low self-worth. This stigma also leads to exclusion from social interactions, which often results in negative thoughts and prolonged intense sadness, which again leads to depression.